Thank you so much, Amelia. I'm sitting up here talking my head off, just talking my dear sweet little head off, and I'm on mute for a whole solid 2 minutes and some change. Amelia, thank you so much. We got to get on the phone again too. It's been too long. So I'm going to rewind and go back to what I think was the beginning. Thank you, Amelia. So I was saying, anybody, please feel free to jump on. Anybody, please feel free to jump on if you are in the, stop laughing at me, Amelia. If you're in the financial generating spaces. So if you're in life insurance, if you're in life insurance, if you're in real estate, if you're in the stock market, if you're in foreign exchange, cryptocurrency, you're a mortgage person, you're in banking, you're in life insurance, whatever industry you're in, but specifically some of those financial industries that really allow you to generate a significant amount of income if you really get your footing, if you really gain a certain sense of success. Please feel free to drop in the chat. Join Amelia in the chat, just turned 40. Okay, Amelia. You're over there looking 30 though. But if you're in either of those areas, please feel free to drop in the chat. Hey, I'd love to join the panel. I got one gentleman that is supposed to be joining with us if he's able to get freed up. But I said that on Sunday, I don't know if it was Sunday or Monday, I posted here that, can't get on the stream. Dang it, man. James, you can't, it's not letting you, or I don't know. Give me some context. I'm from financial background. Amelia, so you're from the financial background. Tell me, I know we've had this discussion before, but it's been like 2 years. It feels like at least a year and some change. Amelia, if you want, you can jump onto the platform. But just shoot me if you want, just let me know and I'll send you over the link where you can join me on screen. But I said on Sunday that I wanted to do 2 sessions this week alongside with the every week, the weekly session. It's, let's see, Amelia said no. It's not letting me get on with the link you sent me. All right, I'll send it again. Copy. Let me send that to you again. Paste. Well, that didn't paste the way I wanted it to. So let me paste it from here on Facebook. So guys, y'all bear with me. Bear with me. All right, so looks like the same link. Hopefully it works this time, James. If not, I'll refresh the link. I may be able to refresh the link. Not 100% sure, but if so, I'll refresh the link, and definitely we'll catch up soon. We'll catch up soon, Amelia. But I said on Sunday I'm going to do 2 sessions. I'm going to do 2 sessions talking about financial smarts this week. Now, I continue to have this insanely busy week. Each day, I'm like, okay, should I do it tomorrow? What is my schedule going to look like? I'm not quite. I'm not going to be able to. So everything continued to happen to tell me, no, you can't do it tonight. Nope, you can't do it today. Nope, can't do it today. And we got to Thursday. I got to do this before the end of this week. So I woke up this morning and I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I haven't had a conversation with any of the people who said that they might like to jump on with me. But you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I said I'm doing 2 sessions. So 1 session tonight and another session tomorrow night. So you got 24 hours if you want to join in on the one tomorrow night. So I know it's a young lady who was supposed to jump on. She shot me a message, said that it was a little bit too last minute for her. Her schedule was jam packed. So hopefully maybe tomorrow night she'll be able to jump on. If not, then I'm sure I have a couple other individuals because I'm doing this one tonight. But one thing that you'll tend to see when it comes to successful people, Uh, one thing you'll tend to see when it comes to successful people in life is if they say that they're going to do something, they figure out a way to make it happen. So it may not happen in the time that they initially desired it to happen, but they're going to figure out a way to make it happen. I just said I was going to do it this week. I didn't say which days this week. I didn't say what time this week. I just said I was going to do them this week. So I'm going to get both of them done this week. But I wanted to just get on and have a conversation about money, about finances, and about your mindset around finances. There's so many of us that we grow up and we're not talked to about real estate. We don't have conversations with our parents about taxes. We don't have conversations with so many of the people that surround us about the financial things that we have opportunities to have our hands on once we get older in life and be able to have a better life. We don't have conversation with our parents about some of the things that we can get set up at a very young age so that once we finish high school, once we go into college, so on and so forth, we're set financially. We don't have those conversations, and we need to have more of those conversations. We need to be able to be that individual to have that conversation with the younger generations. I walked my daughter last night. She watched me walk her through setting up a custodial account. I set up one for my son a little while back. They listen in on lots of my financial calls. You have to engage your children in these certain spaces so that once they come of age, they are knowledgeable about the opportunities that are out there when it comes to being able to generate income in all these different spaces. So I say generate income, but when it comes to custodial accounts, and for those of you who do not know, a custodial account is like a stock market brokerage account, but it's for your child. It's specifically set up so that they can have money when it's time for them to go to college. So you're dropping money in throughout the year. You can drop up to $15,000 tax-free. If you're single, if you're married, $30,000 tax-free. You can put towards your kid's future every single year. That's every single year. And it's set up as a custodial account, so you can't really touch it unless you pull all this paperwork saying that the purpose why I'm pulling this money is to go towards such and such for my child. So it makes it very difficult for you to try and access that money. So your child is going to be set up. Most of us don't have that type of conversation. We don't have parents that set things, or we didn't have parents that set things up like that for us. But now we have the information. We know that we can go out and we can be that difference and set our kids up for the next generation. Life insurance. There's so many people who, especially in lots of the minority communities, they don't want to talk about life insurance because that's talking about death. No, I'm not trying to talk about death, man. I'm like, let's talk about something positive. No, let's talk about life insurance, because life insurance is not only about death. Life insurance is about protecting your family. It's about protecting your family's future. It's about positioning your family to not have all these debts. God forbid, when that day comes that you leave or whoever the policy is on, it's about them being able to continue to sustain the same standard of living, to continue to sustain. My daughter's tooth is like dangling and she keeps showing me. About to lose a tooth. Anyways, it allows them to be able to continue to move forward in life with the same standard of living, if not better, because of you having a policy in place. I heard a conversation about a week or so ago. There were these three college roommates, and they decided, you know what? Let's take a policy out on each other. So the three of them took policies out on each other. Yes, maybe that's kind of morbid. Why would you think about taking a life insurance policy out on your college roommate? That's kind of weird, ain't it? Well, they wanted to make sure that, you know what? God forbid something happened to one of us. We want to make sure the other two are set, because there's nobody else in our family that's taking out policies on us. Why don't we just do it? And I want to say they watched something and, got the idea. Whereas there was this one, these two friends back in the day that took out policies on one another. And unfortunately, one of them passed earlier than expected. And the other friend was sitting on millions of dollars. And if you're smart, you understand that life insurance can really position you for so much more of a better future. Some people look at life insurance and they automatically think about term insurance. And they understand that, that's not a whole lot you can do with that. It's kind of set up to be that final expense type of policy. But then you have these whole life policies and these other components that are part of these whole life policies that can be set up as a savings account, that can be set up as to where you can borrow money off of your money, to where you pretty much have your own banking system, to where you can have certain investment components built in. There's so many people who have generated or created generational wealth through life insurance policies, but we don't want to talk about it. It's too negative. It's about death. So I want to be able to go deeper into that conversation tomorrow night. You've probably been, if you're like me, you've probably been getting about one or two friend requests on whatever platform on a daily basis from Bitcoin miners, Forex miners, people who are saying, pay me a certain amount and I'll mine this coin, I'll do this trading for you. There's so many people that are in that space, but if you get into that space a legitimate way, that can be, or as one of the emerging industries, that's really being able to help people start to create that initial bout, so to say, of generational wealth. Read this comment real quick. People put money away for years to pass on to loved ones. When they pass insurance, is so much more. Yeah, that's real, Amelia. Because a lot of people will just put money away. A lot of people will just put money away, and that money doesn't really grow. It doesn't grow. When you have it in a certain type of policy, that money can be larger. There's a larger plot that can come back to you at the end, whenever that time comes, than the amount that's going to be coming back to you if you're just sticking it on the mattress. If you're just putting it into a bank account that's drawing 0.01% interest per year. So putting money into some type of account that's going to grow interest, grow large sums of interest over time, can put you in so much better of a position, or just get you a solid life insurance policy. And we'll definitely have at least one individual tomorrow night that can speak a little bit more towards life insurance. I was a licensed agent. I was a licensed whole term whole life and annuities down in Miami, Florida back in 2013. I didn't stick in the industry too long. It wasn't for me based off of who I was at that time. I wasn't cut out for it, just to be frank. I wasn't that person that could go in and close those policies the way I needed to be able to keep food on the table. But I saw the importance of the industry, and one of the catchphrases that we used to use when we would go in to try and close policies was, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So really think about that one. Let that one soak in. Next, as it pertains to investing, real estate. Now, me, from where I'm from, I live in the country, in the rural South Mississippi, where most of our family for generations, I would say at least 3 to 4 generations back, we've had land and property, homes that's just been handed down. So real estate has been in the family for years, but the conversation around actually profiting off of that real estate has never been part of the conversation, of actually using a portion of your real estate to allow or to lease out to someone, to rent out to someone, and then we'll connect in the morning, James. But I was having a conversation with my mom about a certain portion of the land that she lives on. We were able to put it into my name, to where, God forbid, day comes when she's no longer with us, I'll be able to have say so, or at least primary say so, over what's going to happen with the property. And I already have some ideas in mind to where we can start generating revenue from the property and split it up throughout the family. Same thing with my dad. He has a decent amount of property, and we're looking at buying some more land around where he lives. But these conversations were not really had as far as being able to profit off your real estate. There's so many people in today's day that they think about purchasing their first home, and they feel all good. Like, I got my own house. I'm a real estate investor. And I have ownership. but really you don't have ownership, and it's not an asset. It's really it's a liability, really, once you get that first home, unless you're doing something with it to generate some revenue. So being able to position yourself to bring in some money off of that which you own can really give you a larger percentage of ownership, because true ownership doesn't exist when it comes to real estate, because you're always paying property taxes. And if you don't pay those property taxes, I don't care if that house is paid off 100 years ago, they can take it out from under you if you don't pay your taxes. So understanding these things as it pertains to finances is a conversation that we need to have so much more, because there's not enough of us that are having that conversation. The whole cryptocurrency space, foreign exchange space, those are two of the spaces that a lot of people may turn their nose up to. And it's because a lot of people get into those spaces thinking that I'm going to get in here, I'm going to turn some quick trades or whatever, and I'm going to make buku money super fast. Doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. You have to really study this. You have to treat it as if you're going to school. There was someone here the other day, and they were pointing at my business licenses, and I guess just like a glimpse and thinking that they were my degrees. But I went to school years on years to get multiple degrees. I got 3 of them so far. I'm working on a 4th one, but I had to really put in time. Yeah, James, man, James, I heard a story about, I think it was your guy that you just went to his training. And I'm drawing a blank, Grant Cardone. And he was talking about moving from California to Texas because of property taxes. But yeah, I went to school. I put in time. I spent money. I put in a lot of focus and effort to learn the things that I needed to learn. Jason Miller, what's good, man? This one thing that we need, man. I'm telling you, man. That's one thing that we will never get any more of. Like, you can't get more land. I don't know what planet you living on, but the one I'm living on, they don't make more land. I mean, you clear off some land, but they're not making more land. So it's so strategic if we're able to get some land, get real. And a lot of times people hear real estate and all they think about is homes. All they think about is, residential, commercial properties. But real estate is so much more vast. Real estate can be a pond. Real estate can be, the oil that's in the ground underneath your land. Real estate can be so many different things, but you have to educate yourself on it to be able to really capitalize on it. Jason Miller, man, I appreciate you hopping in, man, and just dropping what you just mentioned. Guys, this is a young fella that I actually grew up with playing baseball. I think he's like a year or 2 younger than me. We had some good times back in the day, man. Some real good times down in George County. But these conversations that we are not having is what I want to bring more of. And like I mentioned earlier, I want to bring people to the platform, people to the panel who work in these spaces. Like, one of my partnerships is in the credit restoration space. So where there's so many people who go out and say, I'm going to get my new house, I'm going to get a new crib, I'm going to get a new whip, trying to get a nice vehicle, but then they get there and they're not approved because their credit is jacked up. And it's because coming up as a child, your parents didn't really talk to you about credit. They didn't talk to you about the importance of not maxing out credit cards, of not getting too many credit cards when you haven't paid off the ones that you already had. They didn't tell you about how the credit cards are actually reported to the bureau. They didn't tell you about how you can start to really take some of the items off of your credit card that are obsolete now, that really don't matter anymore. And when they don't tell you those things, you don't know. And what you don't know, you don't know. What's the phrase? You don't know what you don't know until you know. So getting around people who are talking about things like this on a regular basis, who are talking about what's necessary. D'Iberville Walmart still leases to an owner for millions because he did lease it. Man, I'm telling you. Yeah, man, I'm good old baseball days. You see here, the owner did not want to sell his land. He's leasing it. And I'm guys, what was I listening to? I was listening to it was some radio show where yeah, I caught that. I caught that, Jason. But there was some radio show where dang it, who was it? I think it was a comedian or something, but this company wanted to buy a certain intellectual property off of this individual, and he was going to be getting, I think, $2 million. I know who it was. The guy who played the child on the Jackson 5. I forget what his name is, but he played like the kid on the Jackson 5 movie back in the day. Anyways, they wanted to pay him $2 million to sing a song or to do something. Disney wanted to pay him $2 million. Like they were going to cut him a $2 million check to play a certain song or sing a certain song, and then that was it. And he was so excited, so happy. His family was about to be set. But he said his mom came to him. His mom or his aunt was like, no, if they sell you this company's about to, yep, Jason Weaver. If we take this $2 million, the way this company is growing, they're going to make so much more money off of your intellectual property over the generations that could be coming back to our family. You know what? We don't want the $2 million. And he took something like I think like $16,000, $16,000 plus a certain percentage of royalty every time that song played. And he's been able to make so much more money off of that. That's what Jason is making reference to. We have to be smart, and that's one of the things that you will find a lot in George County or in a lot of rural places, especially when people are hurting for money. As soon as they find out that, you know what, I'm about to inherit this land over here, as soon as such and such die off and I get this land, I'm about to sell it so I can be sitting on some stacks. Them stacks are going to go like this. Don't sell it. Lease it out. Figure out a way where you can put some, you down here in the country, put some mobile homes on it and rent those babies out. But do something to where you can keep that money coming into the family and you don't just have that one lump sum and then it's all over. So I want to have more and more of these conversations. As I mentioned, we're going to be doing another session tomorrow night at the same time. I'm going to have a couple more individuals on the platform with me, people who are in the real estate space, people who are in the credit restoration space. They did sell. Yeah, man. Man, Jason, I got to get back down there. I got to get back down there and see some of my guys. I haven't seen like my people in a minute. I can't believe in 3 years, it's my 20-year anniversary. Dang, I guess these grays really starting to show. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's sad. That's sad, Jason. Whenever a lot of couples or individuals will get older, companies will mess you over. It's all about the money. They don't care about your legacy. They don't care about what it is you're trying to leave behind. They're trying to make their bottom line a little bit fatter. So I just wanted to bring this dialogue to the attention of individuals because we're going to be doing this more often. And if you are, like I mentioned, I work in the space. I have a partnership in the space of helping people get their credit in the right place so that they can be able to afford that new home, so they can be qualified for that new vehicle, so that they don't have to pay the full maximum, security deposit when they go to get that new apartment. Maybe you have a child or a sibling or something that's about to get a new apartment, about to go to college or whatever it may be, and you don't want them to have to pay that full amount when it comes to the security deposit, first month and last month rent. You don't want them to be in that position. You want to make sure that their credit is in the right place. So we're going to be having conversations around how to get kids, teenagers, get their credit starting to build before they even have access to use their credit, how to have a certain amount of money waiting for them whenever they graduate, how to put certain policies in place, and what the breakdown and the costs are, and how much less you can pay whenever they're super young and healthy as compared to whenever they get older and you're waiting to, how I said, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. A lot of times we wait until we need it, and then we got all these pre-existing conditions. we're in poor health. So it's going to cost so much more to afford that policy and pay those premiums. Whereas if you jump on it when you're young, when you're healthy, the policies aren't going to be as expensive. And you just factor it in as as an expense. So many people see or look at life insurance as a luxury. Like this is something only those type of no. If you look at it as one of your monthly expenses, just like the light bill. If you look at it as your monthly expense, just like whenever you went and got that brand new iPhone, they say you might want to put insurance on it, just in case something happens to it. You didn't think twice, put insurance on it, but you want to put insurance on your life. So just like that monthly insurance comes off of your out of your account when your phone bill comes out, when you pay that light bill, when you pay your internet, whatever, pay on that life insurance as well. So off of that note, here, let me see, make sure I'm not missing any comments that aren't coming through the thread here. Let's see here. Pay on that life insurance as well. All right. So yeah, so we're good. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I want to do this more and more often. Back in 2014, I was living in Miami, Florida, and I started to see some inequities. I started to see some individuals that were falling through the cracks because they did not have the people in their ears. They were not surrounded by the individuals like myself that wanted to see them have a better life, that wanted to see them actually fulfill what it is that they had in here, that wanted to see them not look at these people on TV, not go to the stadium and watch these people and see that life. Oh, that must be the life. And this discredit, this completely shut themselves off for that being a possibility for them. Like your life can be so much more, but you have to surround yourself with the right people. You got to put the right things into your mind, and it comes with having the right conversations, reading the right books. Always want to have some type of books around you. I got 3 right here that I'm going to be doing a session on tomorrow. What to say when you're talking to yourself, or what to say when you talk to yourself. Shad Hemsetter. So really big on internal dialogue, self-talk, applied imagination. So really being able to use your imagination and apply it to what it is you desire out of life, and realize that your imagination is what creates your reality. But you have to design that imagination to be what that reality is that you desire, and eventually those connections are going to start to snap and change your behaviors, change your emotions, and eventually manifest in front of you what it is that you desire. Choice theory, William Glasser. So really discussing the fact that everything that we do in life is a choice. We may not think it's a choice, but something that happened in our past, embedded it in our subconscious that in the future, whenever X happens, you're going to do this. Everything is a choice. But some of the choices that you're going to make a year from now, you're creating that habit right now that's going to cause you to make that choice. So being able to change your habits, being able to change those automatic thoughts that are firing in your head can eventually change what that choice is going to be in the future and bring you to what it is that you desire instead of what it is that you fear. And off of that note, you should be seeing tomorrow. I'll be dropping I got something kind of big that happened to me. I'm going to be announcing it tomorrow, and it's going to tag on with a service that I'm providing. So keep an eye out, Shamika. You'll be hearing about it probably before most people because you're already part of the whole process. But guys, just think about that. I'm gonna write down real quickly some of the things that we spoke about today. So real estate. I didn't go deep into the stock market, but I mentioned custodial accounts. What else? So land as a real estate, life insurance. And I'll go back through the video, but as many different financial industries that you guys can think of. If you want to jump on and just have some conversation around it, feel free to jump on. But off that note, I'm going to call it quits. I got a little one here to my left that is probably ready for me to get off the video, so she can take my attention and probably help her pull this tooth out of her mouth. Anyways, Jason, Shamika, James, Amelia, I'm going to message you. I know you're probably not on right now. All of you who jumped in, who engaged, thank you so much. This will be running. This probably will be running for, I don't know how long I'm going to let it run, but just be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. If you want to jump on stage with me, you want to jump on the panel with me and be one that shares your experience in the financial, wealth generating spaces, any of these industries that I listed out, so we can have a dialogue, just speaking on some of the things that we wish we would have known when we were coming up, some of the things that we're pouring into our kids so that they don't have to repeat some of the same issues that we ended up going through when we were coming up. So off that note, y'all have a wonderful remainder of your Friday. For y'all entrepreneurs out there, y'all already know TGIF, the grind includes Friday. Y'all take it easy now. And remember, it don't matter where you came from. No matter what your last name was or what it meant before you came around, because you can start today to put the right things into your mind and surround yourself with the right people and start living your life of purpose, because your legacy begins now. See you guys next